How's it going, guys? Welcome to the 6th edition of Random Ramblings with Randomonium. I'm Randomonium, and I'm pretty excited because in my attempts to become a better streamer, I try to improve every time I do a stream, and this time I've been working on my video quality. So, before I was working on audio quality, and now that I figured that out, now I'm going to switch to video quality, so everything should look a lot clearer this game. Because I am up to about 1080p settings for streaming, so everything should look a lot better now. But this game right here is going to be it's a fun game. I had a lot of fun playing this game, but there's also a lot of strategy, so I think you guys will enjoy this. But our top laner is going to be Trundle. I'll be playing Vi in the jungle. Our mid laner is Ziggs. And our ADC is Ashe, and our support is Thresh. And we're going up against an Irelia top lane, a Shyvana in the jungle, an Azir mid, a Kalista ADC, and an Alistar for support. And as far as matchups are concerned, I think this is pretty good for us. Trundle can handle Irelia, and Vi is definitely a stronger jungle than Shyvana. The Ziggs versus Azir matchup is definitely a skill matchup. They both have a lot of poke. And then the Ashe Thresh versus Kalista Alistar, that's also kind of a pretty good skill matchup. So it could be quite interesting. Yeah, I'm still recovering from my cold. But feeling a little bit better. Definitely still taking cough medicine and taking throat lozenges or anything like that, but feeling a bit better now. Alright, so we're going to start off in bot lane. So our Thresh, he takes the first two creeps because he's got his relic shield. And then you can see our Ashe doesn't miss a single CS with that first wave. That's exactly what you want. You want to be able to last hit that wave every single time. She missed the one right there, but that's not a big deal. And Alistar's going to try and be a little bit aggressive at first. But we're always trying to push the lane. And I think this is pretty good because there's no early gank potential with Shyvana. So Alistar comes in as a flash headbutt, knocks Thresh back in there, and Thresh flashes out. So right here, we land the hook onto Alistar. And Ashe is focusing Alistar, but Thresh is attacking Kalista. So this is a mistake, right? Because Thresh keeps attacking Kalista, and Ashe keeps attacking Alistar, and we don't kill either of them. And if you focus fire, we would have killed either one of them. So Ashe comes into turret range, takes some tower shots, puts her at a very low health, but she is able to get the kill. But then minions are able to get enough damage on her that she dies. So we end up giving Kalista 2 kills pretty early on, which is not what we want to do at all. So moral of that is, anytime you do like a team fight or even just a 2v2, you want to call out who the focus is, right? If the focus is you're going to go for the support because he's really low health, then you both have to go for the support and get the kill, and then you can shift over to the AD carry and possibly get that kill as well. So I think if they had focus fired better, that it would have been a 2 kill for 1 in our favor. I'll back up real quick because I decided to gank mid. So our Ziggs is winning the trade right now. He's a little bit behind in CS, but that's fine. So I'm going to come in, and that was a fail right there. But I get my smite off, and we're able to zone him away. And I can get the kill right here, but I'm going to let Ziggs get it. because I want him to try and snowball that lane. So that's really important if you're a jungler, is especially those early kills, try not to take them. Try to let your solo laners get those kills or your AD carry to get those kills. Because they really are gonna, it really helps them a lot to win their lane if you do that. So Ashe has to farm under tower, and she does a very good job with that. You see how she stays calm. And one of the things you can really do well if you're under tower is really notice how much damage the tower shot hits. Usually you need 2 auto attacks and a tower shot to kill a minion. I like this hawk shot by Ashe. She fires it all the way across the map and is able to see Shyvana at the red. So that's exactly what you want to do with a hawk shot. Anyway, Thresh goes in, but Alistar knocks Ashe back. We get some good damage on, but if Alistar hadn't knocked Ashe back, that probably would have been a kill. Alright, so Trundle's doing well in top lane as well. But Shyvana comes around. We have a ward on it. Trundle kind of overstays and has to flash, but then he turns on Shyvana. And I come up to assist. We burn their flash, and then we also burn Shyvana's flash. So we could have tower dived there, right? Shyvana's super low health. Irelia's really low health. But if you remember back to our Random Ramblings number 4, we were almost in the exact scenario. We're actually against Irelia top lane, and we towered over and ended up giving her 2 kills. So that's something we definitely didn't want to do because Irelia can really snowball. So we learned from that mistake. We were fine with her flashing. That's a great trade. We get a flash for free. So that's a fine trade right there. I'll back up a little bit because we're getting a little bit of action here in the bot lane. So this is a great hook. On to Kalista, get the flay. Alistar does his knockback, but we're doing a lot of damage, get the exhaust on. But Kalista's able to get the better of that exchange just because she got those 2 early kills. But Thresh is able to still pick up the kill on Kalista. So because Kalista got those 2 early kills, she had a slight advantage over our Ashe. But at least we got 1 kill out of it. And so Thresh continues to trade with Alistar. I'm going to come down here to try and assist. So watch this. Thresh throws out his lantern, engage, his flay. So actually right there, that was kind of bad by us because I did my Vault Breaker to try and block Alistar as he retreated, and Thresh flayed at the exact same time. So ideally we would have wanted either Thresh to flay and then I Vault Breaker, or I Vault Breaker and then Thresh flay, so we can maximize our CC. So that was definitely a little bit of a miscommunication on our part. So because of that, we're not able to get the kill, but we are able to get a good amount of damage on Alistar. So Azir and Ziggs are rotating now. I go into engage on Azir, but he goes over the wall. This whole time, Shyvana is taking Dragon, but Trundle comes in, teleports in, gets a really good pillar to zone Kalista, and then Thresh lands an amazing hook. We're able to get a kill back onto Ashe to kind of basically equalize the Goldie in that bot lane. And that was a really good play by Trundle because Dragon was just taken. Irelia is not running teleport, and there's no reason not to use that teleport to try and get that gank. So at the same time, Irelia is pushing top lane, and we know that we can't respond fast enough to stop her from taking this tower, so we're just going to trade objectives. And that's a really important thing in team games is if you can't stop them from taking an objective, like a tower, you at least want to trade objectives to make sure that you don't fall behind in gold.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So Ashley fired a hawk shot to here, which allows her to see Shyvana. I would have liked it if she had fired it all the way to Wolf Camp, because if Shyvana had been at Wolf Camp instead of Gromp, we would have had no idea. Right? So anytime you're using the hawk shot on Ashe, you want to get the maximum range you can. There's no reason not to, shoot it all the way across the map if you can. So, I feel like we've stabilized the bot lane, so Thresh is going to roam. And so he comes in, and look at that. That's amazing. So you see that Azir wants to use that soldier to escape over the wall. That's his best opportunity, and Thresh predicts that and actually lands the hook as he's going to his soldier. And then he's able to get the flay back, get his ult in. And even though Azir uses his ult to disengage, we're still able to get the kill. So that was a fantastic gank by Thresh. I'll back up here real quick. So I'm moving up to top lane to try and see if I can do something with top lane. And we're actually considering a tower dive because Irelia has pretty much no health right now, or actually no mana. So there's no way that she could, stun us under tower or anything like that. But as soon as we see Shyvana, we're going to back off because we don't want to go for an even fight. We want to go for an unfair fight so that we can get the advantage. But our pink ward spots Kalista, so we're going to come in and collapse on her. So she stays around, tries to get the Skull Crab, which is not worth fighting over. So that Ashe arrow, yes, it didn't hit, but this was exactly where she wanted to fire it, because the most likely place for Kalista to go would be up here. So if she had tried to retreat that way, then Ashe's arrow would have hit, and if she tries to retreat down the river, Ashe is right there to collapse. So that was actually a perfect place arrow, even though it didn't hit. This is a very good minefield by Ziggs as well to cut off their retreat. We're able to get a pretty easy kill onto Kalista, and you can see that lantern pull to engage on Alistar. So right here, right before he flashes, I should have used my Chilling Smite. And that way, even if he flashed, he would have been slowed, and we most likely would have been able to get the kill. Also, if Ziggs had landed that bomb, he also would have gotten the kill. So he misses a skill shot, oh well, people are going to miss skill shots. But that was also misplayed by me to not land my Chilling Smite. So then I flash in, and that was actually a really bad flash by my part, because I'm not going to get anything for that flash. It's very unlikely that we're going to kill the Alistar just by me flashing and Chilling Smite. Anyway, we rotate to try and get on to Shyvana. And I try to time it to block her dragon's descent, but I miss it slightly. So she's able to escape. But Azir's pushing, and he's pushing with no ward coverage. This is very dangerous. Even more so if it's like a tier 2, but if it's even as a tier 1, you want to be very careful about pushing with no ward coverage. But he's able to retreat here. I know we're not gonna be able to get the kill, but I just want to delay him from being able to back. I want to try and keep him out of lane as long as possible. So right now we've got their bot lane is clearing out our creeps and is pushing their bot lane. We've also got Azir in mid, and he's pushing mid. But we're just gonna try and get this blue buff on the Ziggs. So Ashe holds mid for long enough that we can get blue and not lose tower. And at the same time, we can still rotate and defend bot tower as well. So that was definitely a good play by her. So far there hasn't been too much action in the top lane. I'm looking to try and get a gank on Aurelia because she's low on mana again. But Shyvana rotates up, so there's not much I can do to try and get that gank on her. Alright, so our ward sees Shyvana here rotating down. Ziggs is in lane with Thresh. So that is a really poor play, right? Because Azir's in no position to help Shyvana. So it's basically a 2v1 right now. And she knows that Trundle and Vi are close by. So you're looking at a potential, even if Azir comes down and Alistar is able to come up, that's still a 4v3. So, especially when you got so much CC with the Thresh Ziggs combo, that's just asking to get killed. You can see right now this Ashe arrow is coming in. She fires it right down the middle of the lane. She's firing it off of minimap rather than firing it, basically clicking. She's firing it from her minimap here rather than clicking here and then firing it onto Azir. And that causes it to miss. So definitely a little misplay, but I understand the heat in the moment. You just kind of fire it out there and hope it hits. But we're going to use this to try and take a mid tower. So we land a really good ult on Azir, and this flash forward, I don't mind this at all. Because all he has to do is land one bomb, and Azir is going to go down. But he misses his bomb, and instead of just moving up and then just coming around Raptors, right, to avoid all these tower shots, he goes the long way through the tower while he still has aggro and loses a lot of health because of it. Actually almost dies. So instead he should have just come up around, could have retreated that way. We're taking a lot of unnecessary tower hits from this mid tower. That's really going to impede our ability to push. But we are able to get the first tier tower. And a great hook onto Azir. And I'm coming in to try and get my ult onto Azir. But Alistar is right next to him as I click it. And I actually misclick and actually go in on Alistar. We still get the kill on Azir, but I end up dying when I probably shouldn't have. And then Ziggs tries to escape right here, but it's just a second too late, and he gets killed. So we kind of overstay a little bit. You know, we could have just taken that tower and then backed off. So right now, red team is going to set up for dragon. They're definitely in position to at least get dragon, possibly mid tower. So we call up Ashe and try and get a ward on dragon to at least spot it so we can get timer. But it's near impossible to steal a dragon from a Kalista with her rend. But Trundle decides to teleport in. He teleports in, and watch what Alistar does. He just knocks it straight out. He just, get out of my kitchen. And they're able to get the dragon pretty easily. If only Riot was as good at getting rid of trolls as Alistar is, right? So anyway, they've got two dragons now. So we're going to be looking to try and... We want to slow them down with their dragons, because one of their win conditions is 5 dragons. So all we need to do is just get 1 dragon to really delay them in that. But Azir puts up his turret and it goes down pretty easily. So we're coming around. They don't really have very good ward coverage in their jungle. Alistar is definitely out of position here, right? Because his team is at his turret. So we can really collapse on him really easily. We get the Ash Arrow. And then this is just easy. Trundle uses his pillar right here to block his escape. It's a pretty easy kill for us. So, at the same time, as soon as they see us collapsing onto Alistar, they're going to go for Ziggs. So it really comes down to Ziggs, gets slow on him. He's able to jump away. So at this point, right, as soon as we kill Alistar, they need to start retreating up into their red side jungle. Because we're obviously going to come up this way and collapse on them. And they're way too far away from their tower to basically fight us. So I come in, able to get some damage on Irelia, and able to get the kill onto Ashe, and then we also able to get a second kill onto Shyvana. Azir is able to escape, but you know, we get 3 kills total for no deaths on our part. So that just requires a little bit more map awareness on their part, that as soon as we get that kill on Alistar, they need to back away, because we've got the numbers advantage. And that mistake allows us to get a second tier turret in mid. And that's going to really open up the map for us, right? So because we can push our vision into their side of the jungle, and they can't really do anything about it. Here, I'm going to back it up because this is actually pretty funny. So we back out, right? And usually the AD carry's best friend is this Thresh Lantern, but Trundle decides to take it and leaves Ashe out to dry. So kind of pulls a prank on her. But she'll get him back later, don't worry about that. Now we're going to just reset. And anytime you get to this point where you have like 1 or 2 of their towers down, you want to rotate to try and get that 3rd tower down. Because that's just extra gold that you can have on your team. So this is the right play by Ziggs to come up here and try and get this last tier 1 tower down. And they can't really do that much to try and stop it, because if they try to come up the river and gank, they're so far away from any of their towers that we can counter gank very easily. But they're also doing a good job knocking down our bot tower at the same time. Alright, so I come up here. We're in a 2v2, right? So it's Ziggs and me versus Irelia and Shyvana. We don't want that. We don't want to go in on a 2v2 because that's kind of a 50-50 scenario. So I back off, right? But as soon as Shyvana backs off like this, now it's a 2v1. She's not in a position to assist Irelia at this point. So I immediately go in to try and get the kill, and she's out of position. So I can ult in, even though I'm under tower, it's an easy kill for us, because Shyvana backed up there. That's going to allow us to pretty much get this tower without too much difficulty. Yeah, there's definitely a mistake by my part to try and go in to tower range. Alright, so Trundle wasn't too subtle about rotating up, which is why Azir's following, right? And Shyvana comes over here to try and get them in a 2v1, but she doesn't anticipate that he's already in this bush. She thinks he's probably around here, and he surprises her and is able to get a pretty easy kill off of this. So it's definitely a mistake on her part. That's why you want to carry wards with you, right? She's got her sweeper, but no wards. Anyway, we're continuing to push, trying to get our ward coverage up into their jungle. So, Alistar and Kalista think that Ashe is out of position because Thresh is over this wall here. So they go in on her, but Thresh is able to land his hook. Now it's a 2v2. That's just an easy kill to get Kalista. And then there's just so much CC on this Alistar that there's not much he can really do to try and kill Ashe. But this is a really good roam by Azir, and Thresh does a really good job just keeping him off of Ashe. She can die pretty much almost instantaneously to Azir. But I'm also rotating as well, so Ashe kind of trying and baits him. And then we get, my dash in, followed by Ashe's arrow. And then I can come in and clean up pretty easily. So anytime you see your team in a fight like this, you want them to try and delay as much as possible, and you want to rotate as quickly as possible. So very good by Ashe to back off, disengage, wait for me to arrive. Very good job by Thresh to just try and delay as much as possible. He's not going for the kill, he's just trying to delay them until I get there and we have an unfair fight. So Shyvana's coming down, we spot her with our wards. She's going to try and use her Dragon's Ascent over this wall again like she did before. You see right there, I actually timed it well. I'm able to stop it. So, I love these cool little interactions that League of Legends has. Where you can, most people don't know that you can stop that Dragon's Ascent. But we back out, because we're all pretty low. No reason to try and stick around and possibly give up the kill. We're not going to get that tower. And Dragon's going to be up fairly shortly, so we're going to clear out their ward coverage, get Scuttle Crab control, because we don't want to give them a third dragon. Yeah, we need to get at least one dragon so that we can just delay their win condition. But we have very good ward coverage here, all along their blue side jungle, so we're setting up very well for a dragon fight. So they're continuing to push, but I don't like these backs here by their team, right? Because Dragon's about to come up and they all just back. Way too soon. Way too soon to Dragon spawning. And that gives us control of Dragon Pit right as Dragon spawns. So that's something to learn, that if you need a back, you want to back like at least a minute before Dragon starts. So Thresh is zoning. We get the Dragon. Ashe misses with her arrow on Azir because Azir was kind of caught out there. Just barely misses. I'm actually going to slow things down a little bit because this is an important team fight. So they're split out, right? They've got 2 on this side, 3 on this side. So this is a very good pillar by Trundle to basically isolate them, so they can't wrap around and try and engage. They've got to go the long way around. Thresh comes in with his flash, and then tries to go into his ult, but he just barely is going to miss. So they're in full retreat now, and we're very strong in the jungle. So you can see, like, I could pick up this lantern, but I'm not because I want Ashe in this fight. And I've got a gap closer, so I don't mind, being a little bit behind. So Ashe is going to take the lantern here. Was able to get her volley off. So Kalista uses her ult. And you can see that immediately Ashe retreats, right? Because if she gets hit with Kalista's ult, and they collapse on her, she's going to die almost instantaneously. So this is a very smart play by her. This is a fantastic ult. I mean, this is exactly where you want to be, right? Because there's no way that they can escape this. So that's fantastic. That almost chunks out their entire team. That combo that he had of the bouncy bomb followed up by the inferno bomb nearly destroys their entire team. And then as soon as I get on the front line, I can ult in on Kalista, because she's our big threat that we're worried about, right? With all of her Ren damage. So I can come in, basically take her out of the fight. And even though they're engaging on us, this is a really good fight for us. So this entire time, Kalista is forced to attack me, which is exactly who they don't want to be attacking. Trundle flashes in to get the kill on Irelia, which is fine. I think that's actually a good call by his part. And then we're also able to kill Shyvana. So they almost kill me, but I back out just in time to escape. And Kalista's out of range to try and rend me. Ziggs just barely misses that bomb there. But he flashes in to get the kill on the Alistar. Alistar's ult wears off, and it's pretty much an easy kill. This is not smart by Kalista to keep coming in to try and get more damage. The fight's over, right? There's no way that they're going to win this fight. So she's trying to kite back, but yeah, not a very smart play by her to try and engage on us. And we are able to get a kill onto Kalista as well. Azir escapes just barely. That's a 4 for 0, and that's kind of the deciding fight so far of the game that puts us in a huge lead, right? We're 6k gold up now. But unfortunately, we don't have the minion wave pushing for us. So Trundle's trying to tank this tower, and he's just not tanky enough to take it down yet. So he barely gets out with his life. Let's see, 98 hit points. So just barely makes it out. And he goes to back here, and this is where Ashe gets her revenge. She attacks Gromp, and since Trundle's the closest thing to Gromp, Gromp turns and attacks Trundle, nearly kills him. So yeah, moral of the story, don't take your 80 carries lantern from her, otherwise she'll get you back for it. Let's now run another reset period, right? Anytime you win, you want to try and take an objective like this tower, but if you can't, you just don't want to. The biggest thing is you don't want to overstay and give up kills, right? Because you worked really hard to get that gold advantage, you don't want to just immediately give it back again. Alright, so a lot of our wards have died out now, but we've got pretty good vision in the river, and their ward coverage is horrible, right? Anytime you have your tier 1 towers down, you need to start warding up your jungle. And you got a ward here, but they really just don't have enough ward coverage. And you don't want to be this far away from your tower, because their tier 2 tower is down. So they're way out of position because they don't have this ward coverage. And this is going to allow us to get a really easy flank on them. So Azir basically just abandons Irelia into his good luck trying to escape, which is actually probably the right call, right? No point in trying to stay when it's, a 3v2. But come in, able to get some good damage on Irelia. So I like the response by Shyvana and Kalista, but they don't have any ward coverage, and they don't have a tower here. So coming down through this area is very dangerous. it's much safer, even though it's longer, to go around the long way. Because I mean, Azir and I really are out. There's no reason for them to continue coming down this way. There's no way that we can just take the tower that quickly. But you see they come this way, and that gives us an opportunity to attack them. So Thresh lands a hook, and we can just pile on at this point. So you get the Flay, you get the Minefield, and Callista's pretty much almost instantaneously killed. Ashe fires her arrow, doesn't make the same mistake. So she's not firing off minimap, she's firing for this opening right here, because she knows that's where they're going to go. Lands it perfectly. So we get the kill on Callista, and then we've got a really long stun onto Shyvana. You can see as soon as the stun is wearing off, she's already dead. So that mistake of them coming down this way rather than rotating around is going to allow us to get top tower and also mid inhibitor tower. Because there's nothing they can really do, right? Azir's got to back off, and it's basically a 5v2. So, at this point, Callista's about to come up, so Shyvana's going to follow very quickly. So, we want to back out, right? That's the correct decision, but there's definitely some miscommunication. Definitely my fault here. And I come in to try and kill Azir, right? Because it looks like they're backing off a little bit. We might be able to get the kill on Azir, but definitely a mistake on my part. And yeah, that's going to wind up killing me. They pretty much burn everything they have on me. But yeah, I get killed. That's my own mistake, right? No one to blame but myself on that one. But Ashe joins the fight, and it's now 4v4. Don't really understand that play by Alistar. But they're trying very hard to try and keep this inhibitor up. But they're so far behind right now. They're 8k behind. They need to just let this inhibitor die. It's a huge risk for them to stay here to try and defend it. So, they make the right call to let the inhibitor die. And we make the right call by just backing out. And as we back out, we're looking to take jungle camps, we're looking to ward up their jungle. Take every advantage you can. So as soon as you get an objective, you back out and you either steal their jungle camps, like if their red was up, we would have stolen their red, and then you ward their jungle.
We must attend to others.
Your emperor shall return.
So you can see now, they definitely learned from that mistake, right? When we flanked them, so they've got a lot of wards on red side jungle now, and they're also warding that. This is a key approach path. Or they were warding up their blue side jungle, and there's a key approach path here on the red side jungle that they have warded as well. So they definitely learned not to push up this far without having ward coverage in their jungle. But as soon as we're able to push up, we're going to try and get that ward coverage back, right? We're going to clear out their wards, establish our dominance in their jungle, so that way not only can we rotate to their top tower, but we can also take Baron and see them coming from a mile away. So we're rotating. But they've got a pretty strong wave pushing for them. So you can see that they're 5 strong in mid. They're gonna try and defend because we got super minions coming in, and there's no real reason for Trundle to try and engage into this, right? Because I'm way over here, Ash is way over there. It's essentially a 5v3, and we're not. Yes, we're ahead, but we're not ahead enough that we can take them on 5v3. So Trundle has to flash. They continue to follow. But you can see that Azir goes to target Ziggs, and this is a really bad play by Azir because his whole team is rotating to attack Trundle, and that leaves him in a 2v1 against Ziggs, and Ziggs is really fed right now. So this makes it an easy kill on Azir before they can even turn to try and contest. But Trundle pays for his mistake with his life. And then I'm going to back up real fast just so we can watch this other fight that's going on with Ziggs and Thresh. So Callista and Alistar come in to try and engage on Ziggs and Thresh. And I'm also rotating as well. So Callista comes in and uses her ult to try and delay, but she just gets completely chunked out by Ziggs. This is a great arrow by Ashe to come in, get a really nice slow, and immediately I know that I really can kill Ziggs as soon as that slow wears off, so I'm going to chain my CC. Right after that stun from Ashe's arrow come off, I come in with my ult. And then as soon as my ult ends, Thresh lands his hook. So that's a huge amount of CC on Irelia, and it gives her no opportunity to try and jump on Ziggs and kill him. And then we're able to pick up a second kill, and then a third kill, following on. So, they've got 4 members down now. It's going to allow us to get top tower as well. So I've noticed that our wave's almost dead. I don't want Ashe to take any damage, so I tank the tower. It's low enough that I'm going to be able to survive this. And we've got our super minions pushing in on their Nexus towers. This is a good rotation to back out, right? So we're backing out as they're coming back. We're going to take this inhibitor and then we're going to retreat back out into the jungle that we have really well warded. So we know there's no opportunity for, if they try to chase us, we'll easily kill them. Because we can just hide in a bush and we know they don't have wards there. That's a fantastic just solo kill by Ziggs. Essentially he just chunks out Callista because he's just so fed now. But we know their whole team is in base, trying to defend from these super minions. So this is going to be a pretty easy dragon for us. And we basically, by taking this second dragon, we give them no ability to come back and try and get like 5 dragons. So they're right now just trying to clear these waves out of their base, and we're looking for Baron now, right? That's how we're gonna win this. That's our win condition, is to get the Baron and to push. So we're warding up, so we get a very good vision. And I'm moving to take the Scuttle Crab, and as soon as Shyvana keeps showing in this bot lane, that's an immediate sign. Alright, we need to go for Dragon, right? Shyvana's bot lane, she's the only one that can possibly steal this Baron from us. We're definitely going to go for it. We've got top lane pushing, which is even better. There's no way that they can stop this Baron. So we just sweep to make sure there's no wards there. And this is just going to be an easy Baron take. So anytime you see one of their players on the wrong, or question, on one side of the map, you want to try and take an objective on the opposite side. So after Baron, we were calling for the back, so I back, but then we see Shyvana, and my team engages right as I back. So definitely some miscommunication there, but they engage. I don't understand what Azir's trying to do, if he was trying to get a flank on the Ziggs or what, but I mean, he's got a ward here. He knows that there's 4 of us. So he has a flash, but Ashe gets her arrow followed up by the Ziggs ult, and he's toast. And with Azir down for 30 seconds, that's going to make it a lot easier for us to push. So I disagree with Ziggs top lane in this situation, because the inhibitor is already down top lane. There's no objective to take in top lane. The objective is this inhibitor, and with Azir down, if Ziggs is here, this is a 4v4, and they can't do anything to stop it because we're way ahead of them. But by him being in top lane, that puts us in a 4v3, and he's not going to be able to rotate fast enough to assist if they try to engage. They realize that, so they do engage, and they have great target selection, and they immediately go for Ashe, and they chunk her out almost instantaneously. And then as soon as Ziggs comes down to try and assist us, it's still a 4v3. So this is still an unfair fight. This is not a fight we want. And they're just going to change targets to Ziggs really easily, and they're going to kill him as well. So they chunk out very quickly our 2 carries, and then they're able to mop up very easily. So this is the right idea to retreat. I'm coming in to make sure that Trundle and Thresh can get out. And I've got my flash, I've got my Vault Breaker, I've got a lot of tools to escape, so I feel pretty confident that they'll be able to escape, and so will I. I'm not going to give up this kill to allow them to escape. But Thresh comes back in, and I think there's a miscommunication on our part. There's no reason for him to come back in. He just needs to get out. Exactly what Trundle's doing, just get out. We're able to get a kill on, correction, Thresh gets the kill on Shyvana, but there's no way that he's going to be able to escape, because he doesn't have those escape tools that I have. So we wind up giving the kill right back. So basically, that's definitely a mistake on our part, right? We set up this Baron really well, and we wind up with 3 of our team losing the Baron buff almost as soon as we get it. We don't really get anything out of it. So I'm rotating to bot lane here to get this lane pushing, because this is the next objective that we want to take, right? We've got super minions pushing top lane, so we know that they're going to have to send somebody top lane to clear this out pretty much the whole time. It's going to keep pushing, which means that we can push with 5 people on bot lane and they won't be able to defend it. They either have to let the super minions push into their base to defend their bot side, or they have to let their bot tower fall. Alright, so Irelia is really far out here. And Thresh uses his Righteous Glory. And this is going to be a pretty easy kill for us, because she's just so far out of position. Meantime, we have vision of this, right? But because they're all down here, this is going to allow us to push in and get this inhibitor pretty easily. Don't really know what Shyvana's trying to get out of this. because they're at a disadvantage. They're in a 5v4. Yeah, Trundle kind of backed out here for some reason. But if she tries to execute this flank, it's not going to go well. So Trundle TP's in. I think he realizes this is a mistake because there's just so much CC. You got Azir, Callista, Alistar. If he tries to TP right underneath this turret, he's going to take a ton of damage. And we're not in a position to assist him immediately. If we were like right next to the tower, yeah, that could probably work. But he decides to cancel it, which is good. He cancels his TP. But because he teleported in there, Ashe fires her arrow to try and help him, right? And then Shyvana comes in here, and this is just not a good decision on her part. Because Callista and Azir are not going to be able to help as much. But they're engaging as much as they can. And you can see, like, this entire time, I'm just taking all the damage. Which is exactly what you want to do with the tank. You know, our Ashe and our Ziggs are still almost full health, and I'm losing a bunch of my health. So I'm allowing them to keep attacking this entire time, and I don't have to worry about peeling off. Allows us to get 2 pretty easy kills. So Aurelia dashes into Ashe, and this is you never want to do this because it's a 5v1. The chances of you getting this kill are next to 0, but they're definitely going to kill you. But she's actually doing quite a bit of damage to Ashe, especially since the tower is attacking her. So I'm going to ult in and peel for Ashe. That's a pretty easy kill. And then I don't understand, like when you're way behind in a game, you don't want to just give the team more kills. You never want to go into an unfair fight when you're behind. You need to play smart and play conservatively. And with Irelia going in and then Callista's going in, they're just basically just giving us gold. You know, just giving us gold for free. We're not having to risk anything to get these kills. So me and Ziggs have to back because we're almost dead. But it's still going to be a 3v2 because I've only got Azir and Alistar. So we can continue to push in. Now it's a 3v3, but Alistar goes in too soon, and we're able to chunk him out really easily. And then now it's a 3v2 again. So if Alistar had waited just a little bit longer, then it would have been a 3v3, and maybe they could have fought it. But then he just rushes in, dies immediately, and now it's an unfair fight again. Which allows us to get even more damage on their second Nexus tower. Azir goes in to try and kill Ashe, but great peel by us, and we're able to save her and get 2 more kills. And then as soon as Callista and Irelia come up, we're just going to back out. You know, we got tons of kills, and now we also have bot lane pushing. So we're really well set up. So anytime you take an objective as you're backing out, you want to try and take other objectives from them. Either take jungle camps from them, or take a dragon, take whatever you can, and then also ward up, right? As you retreat, you want to ward, so that way if they try to chase you, you have the vision advantage. This is a very easy dragon for us. So we see Azir is way out by himself. Ashe fires her arrow, hits. Azir follows it up with his ult, and then I dash in and then ult him as well and get the kill. And that seems like a lot of overkill just for one death on their team. But this is one of their biggest carries. Like, this is their poke guy, right? And that one kill is going to allow us to really snowball this bot side. Because now it's a 5v4. and they're going to continue to try and engage with us for I have no idea why. But you can see like we're all really low health, but they're not able to get any kills because we continuously try to peel for each other. We're able to get one tower, and then we're able to get a second tower. Just off of that one kill. That one Azir kill allowed us to get 2 towers. Because the death timers were so long at this point. So yeah, we burned 3 ults to get that kill, but it was definitely worth it. And then, this is exactly what you don't want to do, right? They come down to try and chase us into the jungle that we have warded, and then just give us another kill. So never chase into a jungle that you don't have wards in. Unless you know you have superior numbers. Like if all 5 of them push down here with wards that they could place in these bushes, then maybe it would have been alright. You can see right here, they're pushing down, Kalista backs out again, but Alistar keeps moving forward. And this is going to be another easy kill, right? 3v1, he's pushing into a jungle where he has no vision. And even though Thresh is super low, he can't get the kill because we constantly chain our CC on him. So we can never deal any damage. You know, we Thresh Hook, we Flay, I Vault Breaker, Minefield, Satchel Charge. There's no way he's going to get that kill. You can see right now we've got a commanding lead. And the reason why we got that lead is that anytime that they made a mistake, we punished them for it. Just over and over again. Anytime somebody was out of position, we killed them. Anytime we had the ability to take an objective, we did. And then as we retreated, we always kept warding their jungle, stealing, denying them a farm, and just having superior vision control and superior team fighting. Ashe hits a long range ult. That's a ridiculous amount of stun, but not able to have anybody nearby to follow it up. So, with them in their base, we're going to get some vision up, and we're going to go for Dragon again. Because if they try to fight us on this, with the huge gold lead we have, we could easily kill them. They don't have vision of us taking Baron, so I don't understand this call for them to try and go for a mid tower because they don't have vision on us. Kliss is way out of position here, which allows us to. Here, I'm actually gonna back up because this fight's the last fight of the game. It's actually a very good. So we use our Righteous Glory to come in. Kliss is way out of position, right? She's gonna come back towards Ziggs. I'm able to Vault Break her in, and then I immediately ult her, so that she can't do any damage. And then as soon as she dies, I go in on Irelia, because she's focusing down our Ashe. And then we're able just to clean up. We focus the Azir, and then the Shyvana, or Christian, then the Alistar. We save Alistar for last. And yeah, Shyvana's pushing this bot lane, but there's no way that she's going to beat us in a base race, which is essentially what she's doing. All we need to do is just recall Ziggs, and yeah, she's not going to be able to do anything. So we're able to push into the base really easily and get the win. So even though the game was really close at the beginning, really small things we were able to allowed us to get the victory, right? Superior ward coverage, superior team fighting, and we didn't let them back into the game. Anytime they made a mistake, we punished them, and then we didn't give them a chance to punish us back. We always backed out, got our ward coverage, stole their objectives. We didn't really ever give them a chance to get back into the game. So that's exactly what you want to do once you establish a lead, to maintain your lead. And if you find yourself in a position where you're behind, like the red team was, you don't want them to get further ahead by you making mistakes. You need to play conservatively. You need to ward your jungle really heavily, and you need to look for picks. You need to look for fights where you have the advantage, where it's a 4v3 or a 5v3. You can't go in on a 5v5 if you don't have the gold lead. You'll just wind up losing and giving them more gold, and then they'll snowball. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this game. It was really fun to play. This is Randomonium signing off.